Welcome to the channel to this 1850 point Maelstrom of War mission between Grey Knights and Admech. Today we are back in the ruins of their cities where the Grey Knights will be facing the Admech. One more time, it's hammer and anvil deployment, that's lengthways and it's contact lost. That's the game where you have one tactical objective in the first turn and then you draw as many tactical objectives in each turn as objectives that you hold. So table control is important in this game. And there are 3 objectives in this deployment zone here, 2 high up in these chapels and 1 there, 2 in this deployment zone down here and 1 almost in the middle of the table. Gunfire will erupt through these ruined streets as the Chamber Militant of the Ordo Malus is going to take on the Holy Warriors of the Cult of the Omnissiah. Long firing angles here, there and everywhere, and also some crappy line of sight here, there and everywhere. It's certainly going to be interesting. We don't know who's got what side yet, who's going first yet, but it's certainly going to be an interesting fight. The last time the Grey Knights came to fight against the Admech, they smashed them. It was a rout. So this time the lists are very different. And the Grey Knights know this city, know this terrain very well. Their warlord traitors move through cover ruins, stealth ruins, so everywhere they're going to be getting a 3+ cover, so clearly they belong in this blasted city, whereas the Cult of the Omnissiah are strangers here. Just want to point out that this game map was provided to us by gamemap.eu, so go check them out if you like it. I like it. Let's go and have a look at these armies. Right, this is 1850 points worth of Adeptus Mechanicus. It's a Cult Mechanicus Battle Congregation and it's Skitarii Maniple, and I have to say I really quite like this list, which means it's probably going to get trashed. The Warlord for the army is a Tech Priest Dominus, and he's been given the Autocaduceus of Arc and Land, which gives him and his unit It Will Not Die, and I've got 3 units of Cataphron Breachers, 2 units of Cataphron Destroyers, that's the other way round, and that's the Cult Mech. And in the Skitarii, 10 Rangers, 5 Vanguard, 5 Vanguard, 5 Vanguard, 10 Vanguard. The Rangers have got no upgrades, and in each of the units of the Vanguards there's a Plasma Caliber, there's a Dragoon, there's 2 Dragoons and 3 Honor Dragoon Crawlers together as 1 squadron, because that gives them 4+ invulnerable save, and they're ace that way. They've all been given Cognis Heavy Stubbers, and that one's been given a Cognis Manipulator, and that is 1850 points on the nose. And I'm really pleased to see that Mike hasn't brought along any flyers today, because I've got 0 flyer defense. Nice. That was a good guess, wasn't it? Let's go and have a look at the Grey Knights. Right, this is 1850 points worth of Grey Knights with an Inquisitorial detachment and an Oathsworn Knight detachment. The Grey Knights detachment is a combined arms detachment led by a Librarian who's the Warlord with a Combi Plasma, and he's got Terrified, Dominate and Psychic Shriek as well as Hallucination. So he should be trying to throw out some combinations there on the Admech units and trying to terrify them, trying to make them run away or destroy them with mind bullets. Watching over him today is everyone's favourite Inquisitor Cotiaz, and he's got precognition, 4 warning and prescience, 4 winnings tasty, 4+ invulnerable save, which no doubt is going to get thrown out on one of these units of strike squads. 2 units of strike squads, both with incinerators, a unit of terminators. Everything in this list is what you see, is what you get. So a mix of halberds, mix of hammers, and yeah, I imagine with combat squadding to get the warp charge up even higher. We've got some interceptors, another incinerator in there. Been a long time since I've seen it. Interceptors, a rifle dread, and a Knight Crusader with a Storm Spear rocket pod. Mike brought this along last time to add a bit more DACA to his list, and he liked it. It worked, so he's bringing it again. No flyers in the list, but plenty of mobility, because pretty much everything, all the Grey Knights at least, can deep strike. The Interceptors can jump around like mad monkeys, and yeah, plenty of bodies for me to kill, and praise be to the Omnissiah, there was no invisibility this time, even though he rolled for it again, and why not, eh? Here we are after deployment. The Admech deployed first and are going first. The Grey Knights did not seize, even though they could re-roll the seize with Cortese. We've got the arc rifles here with their Haywire Death and grav cannons here. Cut and paste on the other side. Grav cannons, arc rifles on the lower floor. And the Skitarii Vanguard have scouted forward, but not the Dune Strider, because potentially there might have been a charge if he'd have moved forward after seizing, which he didn't do. And again, around here, Vanguard scouting forward, which is one of the traits of the Skitarii rulebook. Dragoons here and holding up the centre line. The Onager Dune Crawlers. My Warlord, and his Warlord trait was Reinforced Exoskeleton, which gives him Eternal Warrior, which is nice. And he's backed up by the Rangers, and they're looking down at what appears to be an Imperial Knight stomping up towards them down the main causeway. That Knight is going to get 3+ cover save from most angles of fire. I imagine Mike's going to be very picky with his movement, with his positioning throughout the game. And then the only other unit of Grey Knights are in here. Cortez and the Librarian are in this big blob of 10 Terminators. The Interceptors are there. And that's it for the Grey Knights. The rest of them are in Deep Strike Reserve. Oh no, tell a lie. There's also a Rifle Dread back here. All the remaining Grey Knights are combat squadded. They're teleport homers crackling. The battle barge, the energies on the battle barge are ramping up. Kotiaz the Librarian and these heroic defenders must stand firm for a turn or two before they're reinforced. And as I said, the Cult Mech are going first, so let's see what damage they can inflict before the hammer falls. Let's go on to Admech, turn 1. The Admech objectives in turn 1 are to dominate. The Admech forces advance. There's some running along the backfield there, and then all the haywire shots, which were only a couple, and the neutron lasers on the Dune Crawlers open fire on the Imperial Knight. And despite 4+ in Vun, despite 3+ cover save from some of the angles of fire, it's on 1 hull point left. Nearly detonated him. And grab rounds from up here, and the few Vanguard that were in range here killed 3 or 4 of the Terminators there. So no first blood scored, but losing 5 out of 6 of the hull point on that Knight. He is smoking, he is steaming, and he is about to go down. I did use +3 ballistic skill on the Doctrina Imperatives. I didn't pull anything out with Canticles and the Omnissiah, so the shooting phase from the neutron lasers won't be that successful again. But I am very pleased with that result. And of course I didn't score domination, and now we're moving on to Grey Knights, turn 1. The Grey Knights are angry and hungry for glory. They want to issue challenges, which is not going to happen in turn 1. Here we are at end of turn 1 for the Grey Knight Alliance, and the wounded Imperial Knight limps backwards towards the edge of the battle grid, firing round after round after round in the Onager Dune Crawlers, doing nothing, everything crackling off their shields, their harmonics standing firm. And then in a fit of rage, he sprayed the Avenger Gatling Cannon at a unit of Skitarii with air, killing 7 of them, and the remaining chaps are running for their lives. Meanwhile, far from the Rifle Dread, far from the Terminators, all flew up into the breaches and destroyers. 1 is dead here, 1's on a wound, 1's on a wound, and the Interceptors shunted forward and hosed the unit of 5 Vanguard that were there and burnt them all to death. They're gone. That's first blood. That 5-point incinerator killing 85 points of models with just a flick of that Grey Knight wrist. So at the end of game turn 1, it's 1 point for the Grey Knights as they advance up into the city. No points for the Adeptus Mechanicus. And we're moving on to turn 2. The Adeptus Mechanicus orders are to seize ground, take objectives 1, 2, 4 and domination. I can currently control 1 and 4. 2 and domination are going to be impossible, and I have no reserves. Everything is on the table. So here's objective 1. The destroyers have moved along. We're still within 3 inches of it, and I've got Benediction of Omniscience off this turn. I'm going to be re-rolling 1s and 2s. I'm going to throw some firepower down in on those Terminators, along with this unit here, throwing as much firepower as I can in on that HQ squad while I can, before all the reserves turn up and start flaming me to death. These guys are pretty much out of range. The haywire breaches have moved through cover And we are in range from one haywire round on that Imperial Knight, which is on one hull point left. And he's in range of the onagers as well. So I'm going to go Knight hunting this turn and hopefully blow it up. 470 points of threat. Should be destroyed before these Grey Knights come in and ruin my day. These guys running up, I don't know what I'm doing with them, to be honest. They're just running around, scouting around, waiting for things to come in before they can respond. This unit regrouped. Meanwhile, over on the other side of the table, I am going to try a charge. No Doctrinaire Imperatives called. I'm going to try and hit that before he dies. He's a unit of 1, so why not? And they're staying still to throw some firepower in on the, what are they called? Interceptors. Yeah. So with Benediction of the Omniscience off, this could be a brutal turn for the Grey Knights. At least I hope it will be. Let's see how many are left at the end of this turn. The Admech lines opened up with one more salvo, ricocheting down the streets on the Imperial Knight, and he's still standing, expertly moving his shield right and left and deflecting every single shot. What a hero. He's got one more turn to speak with his guns, and I'm sure he will deal death. However, that was it. That was all the good news that came from the Terminators, from the Grey Knights, because these grav rounds and these grav rounds there with Benediction of the Omniscience flew in at the Terminator squad, and everyone is dead except for the Justicar, Cotiaz, and the HQ Librarian. That was brutal. Despite having a 3+ cover save, being in that ruin, they got lit up and ripped apart and crushed by graviton rounds. And then this Dune Strider, this Dragoon came charging in, killed the Flamer, and took a hull point back in return. They had Hammerhand on, and so they were able to damage that Dragoon, and that's a drawn combat. They are locked up. Cotiaz and the Terminators made their morale check, and they're desperately calling out on the comms for reserves. We're hoping that all those teleport homers are fully functioning, and that there is a good roll on the reserves and they all flicker in, because they're locked up here. The Knight is on one hull point left, and yeah, there's not a big Grey Knight presence on the table. If these reserves don't show up, they could be in trouble. The only last thing to add is the Dragoons are running their way up the table. Again, don't know where they're going, but I score objective 4, I score objective 1, I take massive chunks out of the Grey Knight army. It is 2 points to the Admech, 1 point to the Grey Knights, and we're going on to Grey Knights turn 2 as they scream, as they call out, reserves, reinforcements, where are you? Because of the pounding they took, the Grey Knights only control one objective. Secure objective 1 is their new order, which is deep within the Admech lines, and only 2 out of 4 of their reserves are coming in. Desperate stuff. So here is objective 1, and in the movement phase, the Grey Knights tried to deep strike directly on top of it and scattered slightly, and luckily landed here. So with a bit of running, they can make their way around to score it. And if you're wondering what happened to the breaches, well, they got psychic shrieked from Cotiaz's unit here, who moved forward and threw out a couple of psychic powers, including prescience, and took a headache from perils. And the idea is for him to run back behind the wall, stay within 3 inches of that objective to draw another card next turn, listen for another order. But yeah, move forward, effective psychic powers, move back, keep him safe, because there's a warlord in that unit. So yeah, they've got prescience. These guys are going to need to run forward. And the other unit came in here. Fearless Grey Knights landing right in the lion's den, right in the cult mech lines. There is another incinerator in that squad. That is certainly going to sting. And that's pretty much it for the Grey Knights. The Imperial Knight still holding on to that objective, still receiving orders from high command, and he's going to fire some more rounds down the streets. So let's move on to the shooting phase. In the rest of the game term, this destroyer actually broke morale and fell back just a couple of inches, and the strike squad managed to run round, because this isn't a Nemesis strike force but a combined arms detachment. The Grey Knights are securing objective 1, and then the big, mean, nasty Imperial Knight sprayed across the lines, putting 2 hull points on one of the Honor Jejune crawlers with storm spear, rocket pods, and rapid fire battle cannons, and then sprayed his Avenger cannon with contempt at these two dragoons that were rearing down towards him and blew them up. He basically sneezed in their general direction, and despite having that ruins cover save, they went pop very, very quickly. And talking about pop, on the other side of the table with Hammerhand and Prescience on them, they just ripped through that other dragoon, so all of the Skitarii walkers are now gone. Kotias and the HQ squad aren't there anymore. They got a 6, so they're happily hiding, running away like Eldar.
Run away!
Behind the back of that building. And round here, 6 out of this squad just got sprayed, got hosed down by the incinerator and a grenade and some storm bolter fire. Soul Blaze went out and they held morale, looking back over their shoulder, wondering what the hell that was. So the Grey Knights score objective 1, take every single dragoon out of the fight and make inroads into the Admech army despite not having a lot of units on the table. It's 2 points to the Grey Knights, 2 points to the Adeptus Mechanicus. We're going on to turn 3. The Admech have only got 2 objectives now and they still want to seize ground. Take objective 2, 3, 4 and domination, and the only objective I control is objective 4. So the Admech orders are to venture deep into the Grey Knight portion of the city and discover objective 2 and 3, but that's too far away. I'm not going to be able to do that, but I am going to be able to take objective 4. Meanwhile, these units moving around to get as much firepower as I can on this squad here that has already destroyed 2 units. The Haywire guys as well are going to throw firepower into them. Meanwhile, that destroyer is running away. And the Vanguard squad that were there has jumped up to throw some fire on this unit. So I've also got Doctrinaire Imperatives off, which is +2 ballistic skill, -1 weapon skill. So with the orders crackling across the noosphere, I should be able to put enough firepower in on these Grey Knights to make them sting. The Dune Crawlers are moving up the table and going to try and bring down that Imperial Knight one more time. Of course, this guy here is shaken, so his neutron laser won't be firing this turn. I've just got 2 shots going up the table, and whatever Haywire is in range from this unit of breachers that are daring to trespass into the Grey Knight portion of the city. Hopefully that Dread Knight is going to drop. And then as for this unit here, there's some destroyers peering over the edge of this ruined cathedral, and they're going to throw 18 grav rounds into this squad here, and I don't know if many of them will be left, particularly as they've been rejoined by this group of Vanguard. There were 10, they regrouped last turn, and then now they're piling through the entrance, and they're going to throw some shots in as well. So carbine rounds, neutron rounds, graviton rounds firing right and left and centre. Will there be any Grey Knights left at the end of this shooting phase? Let's find out. In the shooting phase, the 2 neutron lasers from this squad, having been stunned and shaken from the Dread Knight, missed wildly, and the Haywire rounds that could hit the Dread Knight in the Imperial Knight came flying in, and he's still there like a boss, made all of his invulnerable saves again. On 1 hull point left, smoking, steaming, his battle horn blaring, defiant. He will have 1 more turn to unleash death on these units here. Meanwhile, grav rounds cleared off that unit that dared to trespass in the Admech rounds lines, and the HQ unit cleared away the interceptors that were here. And then this squad and the breachers that could see fired at this 5-man strike squad, killing 3 of them, and they broke, and they're running back straight towards the Vanguard. I don't think those Vanguard are going to be there very much longer, seeing as the incinerator is still there, and these incinerators do short work, very short work on Vanguard units. So far that knight is still standing firm, proving impossible to take down, and at the end of all that shooting I only scored 1 point for objective 4, though I have cleared away a couple more Grey Knight units. Boots on the ground are very sparse for them. It's still only 3 points to 2, and we're going on to Grey Knight turn 3. The Grey Knights are coming in piecemeal, only one more unit coming in, and they've got to score objective 3, which Kotiaz has got, issue a challenge and get behind enemy lines, which should be easy with some deep striking. Kotiaz and his unit are scoring objective 3, and he got another headache. He's down to 1 wound left, and then he terrified and psychic shrieked the unit that was up here, and they are no longer there anymore. But more importantly, this Grey Knight squad tried to deep strike in there, scattered forward, and is within 12 inches of my board hedge for behind enemy lines. So that's 2 surefire points they're going to get this turn. Up here, I said it was a flamer, but that's actually a side cannon. They've regrouped, so they're going to shoot. They're going to shoot. The Knight has shuffled across again, and he's going to shoot. Let's move on to the shooting phase and see what the Grey Knights can kill. In the shooting phase, the squad that deep struck in destroyed the destroyer, and the squad up here with the side cannon picked on another destroyer in my HQ squad there. And then his big guns spoke. The rending gun ripped through the breaches that were there, killing every single one, and the rapid fire battle cannon took 2 hull points off of the lead Onager Dune Crawler, both of them down to 1 hull point each. Kotiaz managed to get a good run, and he's back behind that wall again, but still scoring objective 3. More importantly, next turn, if the Grey Knights stay alive, they're going to be controlling 3 objectives and drawing more cards, and even more importantly, they're pulled into the lead. It's 4 points to 3. Admech objectives in turn 4, and the number of orders crackling across the noosphere is at maximum. Can't take any more orders after this unless I score some, so take objective 2 and 3, which I can't get, but 5 I'm sat on. Ascendancy, score any 3 for D3, that's an automatic D3, and no prisoners, just kill stuff. Domination's going to sit there for a long time. End of turn 4 movement, the Dune Crawlers are making their way up the table. Thinking about Linebreaker and trying to tear down that Imperial Knight. All the Vanguard that are remaining are cowering in the side of this building here, and all the grav rounds, these destroyers are poised to take out these 2 Grey Knights on top of this cathedral. I don't think they're going to be here at the end of the turn. That's pretty much it for movement. These guys shuffling along, and the breach is shuffling along here, because in this building, I don't know if you can see him, but there is a rifle dread. So let's, and he's been annoying, so let's take him out. One more time, neutron lasers fired in at the Imperial Knight, and I didn't penetrate the armor. He didn't even have to make a shield save that turn. He's still there, and Mike is laughing his ass off.
Unkillable.
He's unkillable. Despite bleeding oil and machine parts from that first round of fire, he just will not die. Talking about things that won't die, grav rounds from here and grav rounds from here fired across at the Grey Knights on the other chapel, who went to ground, and with their Conqueror of Cities Warlord trait they had a 2+ save, and they made every single save. They know this city well, they know where to hunker, they know where the tough bits of the ruins are, and they're unkillable. And the haywire shots from here, that rifle dread is unkillable. Long story short, everything I shot did nothing. My firepower was completely ineffectual. In fact, all I score this turn is 1 point for securing objective 5 and D3 points for ascendancy. That's 3 points in total. It's 6 points to 4. I'm ditching domination, and we're going on to Grey Knights turn 4. The Grey Knight orders are to recon all the objectives. They'll get a free point there and kill stuff, issue challenges, shoot something to death, or just kill stuff with no prisoners. So long as they kill a unit with the shooting attack, they'll get 2 points. That's an extra point. They could roar into the lead here. Is it going to be another one of those games? In the movement phase, as the Knight dodges right and left from all the firepower and repositions again, Kotiaz breaks through the cover one more time and fires terrifying some mine bullets down at this squad of breachers, and thankfully this time it didn't go off, and the last strike squad are here. It looks like the Grey Knights really want to take this chapel. They really want overwhelming firepower. So let's move on to the shooting phase and see if these breachers are there at the end of this turn. End of the Grey Knight Alliance shooting phase, and Imperial Knight versus Onager Dune Crawlers. Imperial Knight victory. To be fair, 2 of those Dune Crawlers are only on 1 hull point each left, and this is the first time the Imperial Knight turned all of its firepower, and I mean everything, at them, and just ripped through them, wrecked every single one, leaving smoking, twitching crab-like legs behind. Brutal. Then it took all the Grey Knight remaining firepower, including the rifle dread, to clear away those 2 remaining breaches there. So the Grey Knights only killed 2 units for overwhelming firepower and no prisoners, but they also get recon. So it's 7 points to the Grey Knights, 6 points to the Admech, but all that remains of the Admech are some units huddling in this building and some in the middle. So the footprint of the Admech threat is very small. The footprint of the Grey Knight threat is very small. We have been tearing chunks out of each other. The Grey Knights are in the lead by 1 point, and we're going on to turn 5. Admech have 2 objectives, so they get 2 more cards, and they've got to score objective 2 and 3, which are deep in Admech Grey Knight lines, which can't happen. And then just kill stuff for a point, kill the Warlord, and Big Game Hunter, kill a vehicle or monstrous creature. And if I bring down that Imperial Knight, that's D3 points, but I've only got grav rounds left that can do that. Do I go for the money shot, or do I just go for the easier points? Let me go and have a cup of tea and a nice long think. In the movement phase, these Vanguard are making a break for that objective. They're going to run to it to try and score it, and these Vanguard are running along to try and score that one, because this grav squad is moving up the table. It's out of range of the Imperial Knight, so it's going to throw shots over there. And this squad are moving around, and there are some shots, I don't know how many yet, but some shots on the Imperial Knight. I've got to kill it. I've got to kill 1 unit. I've got to get some points, otherwise the Grey Knights will steal it from me again. I can't draw any bead of fire on Kotiaz and on the HQ unit. I'm waiting for them to fail 1 run before I pop some shots that way. It's all about that Imperial Knight. It's all about no prisoners or Big Game Hunter. Pray to the dice gods, pray to the Omnissiah. The runs were successful. I'm on those objectives. The grav rounds firing in. They went to ground again. I only killed 1. He's still alive. And here there was 1 grav round in on the Knight, and he is still alive, unkillable, undestroyable. I don't get no prisoners. I don't get Big Game Hunter. I score no points. No points. We're going on to Grey Knights turn 5. Let's see what objective cards they get, and let's see if the game ends and they win again. Grey Knights are winning 7-6. They can't get domination, hungry for glory, or objective 5, but they're sat on objective 3. Let's go on to the Grey Knight turn. This is objective 3, which the Justicar will score this turn, and the Warlord is running backwards. His work here is done, and I'm sure he'll be behind that piece of terrain in the shooting phase, safe and denying me Kingslayer. Meanwhile, Kotiaz broke free on this side and has thrown Prescience at the Imperial Knight. That is gonna sting. So some tactical movement in the backfield, denying me points and making the most brutal unit on the table even more brutal. And then round here, he's gone to ground. This unit have gone backwards, scoring line breaker in case the game ends. And the unit that was in the ruins have bust through the doorway. The flamers out front, and there's going to be a lot of Stormbolt rounds coming in on these Rangers. So let's move on to the shooting phase, see if these Rangers are here at the end of the turn, and what the Imperial Knight will kill this time. In the shooting phase, Kotiaz and the Librarian ran back into cover, and then this big guy spoke his rocket pod and his rending gun coming in, killing all of the Cataphront destroyers and putting 1 wound on the Warlord. And then the rapid fire battle cannon hit these destroyers up here, killing 2 of them, along with some stubber fire, along with the rifle dread in that corner there. And this squad here cleared away every single one but 1 of those Rangers, which held morale. He held morale. At the end of the turn, 2 little guys sat in the middle of the table. Those 3 Vanguard there, some Vanguard here, and a destroyer left, and that's it. Brutal, brutal turn. It is 8 points to the Grey Knights, 6 points to the Admech. We're doing some running over here with these guys, and we're going on to turn 6. The 2 new cards I draw was a secure objective 1 and hold the line. That's controlled by the Grey Knights, and Grey Knights are back in my line, so I can't get hold the line. I need to score objective 2 or just kill stuff. I can't kill the king, kill that knight. Just tough work. So I can't score objective 1, I can't score objective 2 held by the knight. I'm not in range to get him with any of the grav. And I can't hold the line because of these Grey Knights tucked in here. All I can do is get a point for no prisoners, kill as many Grey Knights as I can, and pray it goes on to turn 7. And then at the end of the shooting phase, everything that was in range here and here fired at him, who went to ground and didn't kill him. I score no points again. It's 8 points to the Grey Knights, 6 points to the Admech, and we're going on to Grey Knight turn 6. Now the Grey Knights control the battle grid. Their orders are to take the objectives. Take objective 2, 4, 5 and 6. The Imperial Knight scoring 2. 4, 5 and 6 are going to be tricky, and Domination and Hungry for Glory issue a challenge. It's the bottom of turn 6, and this is the way the world ends. Another Grey Knight victory. The Imperial Knight prescienced up by Kotiaz over there, firing in round after round after round, clearing away the unit that was on objective 5, clearing away the last of the destroyers, and then my Warlord taking a charge from the squad that they came bursting out of that cathedral. He's on 1 moon left. I killed 1 Grey Knight back, and he's surrounded and getting hacked down. At the end of the game, it's 10 points to the Grey Knights and 6 points to the Admech, and despite the fact that they were in the lead for many turns, the Grey Knights took this game because of that hero in the backfield destroying everything. After the first turn, we thought it would be all over for this Imperial Knight, but it seems that losing those hull points only angered him, and then everything he pointed at died. It certainly makes an interesting contribution, a valuable addition to a Grey Knight army. Grey Knights lack long range firepower, and he added a lot of long range firepower. Despite the fact that the Grey Knights came in piecemeal, they were able to capitalize on the objectives when they came out. And Kotiaz jumping forward and jumping backwards, and this little bugger up here taking every single one of his saves, hiding and firing that side cannon down onto my lines. He certainly is a hero. The power of the Grey Knights will not be denied. So we hope you enjoyed this battle report. I found it very surprising. I didn't think this is how it was going to turn out, but them's the shakes. That's how the world ends sometimes. Thank you very much for watching. Happy Warhammer.